What's good, guys? Let's talk about trading. There's a few things that I've been wanting to talk about on camera, and the first thing is diversifying accounts and what assets you're going to trade, having separate accounts to trade them and why that's important. And then also, I guess, to complement that, when it's appropriate to trade without discretion in terms of your entries, but which entries and which setups are asking for you to risk more or to extend your take profit level on, and how that is one of the keys to mastery. So with account diversification, I'll give you my own example. I'm trading USD CAD, USD JPY, Euro US dollar, and Nasdaq and gold. I would have thought previously that it would be a wise idea to put all of those pairs, all of those assets to be traded through one account. But that is not the right way of going about things, because you will take more trades, of course, but there's a few issues. So I guess the first one is like margin requirements. If 3 or 4 of those pairs create a setup at the same time, your account is probably not going to let you risk 1% or 2% or whatever you risk on all of them at the same time. Depending on how big your account is. As a retail trader, it's probably not going to be huge. But even if it is, like a 200k funded or something like that, if you're in all of those trades at the same time, your risk of ruin is quite big, because with prop firms there is a daily drawdown limit and even a maximum one. If you're risking a certain amount and you lose all of them, you could even breach your maximum drawdown. So there's that side to it as well. If you have a losing streak on 2 or 3 of those pairs, you're just giving yourself a mountain to climb. So what would be more efficient would be to diversify accounts with regards to what assets you're going to trade on different accounts. So like I said, for me, I'm trading I think 5 assets: USD CAD, USD JPY, Euro USD, gold and Nasdaq. Yeah, so 5 different assets I'm trading. I've got accounts for just Nasdaq and gold. I've got accounts for just USD JPY and Euro US dollar, and I've got accounts just for USD CAD. And across all of those diversified accounts, I am passing challenges, and in such a way that with the challenges you should only really see it as like you can pass within maybe 3 trades or something like that. For me, my risk to reward is 3 to 1. So I only need like 2 trades basically to pass a phase 1. I only need 1 trade to pass a phase 2. Sometimes it can take like 9 trades or whatever, but you should have like those plans in mind before you buy the accounts, and understand the chances of you actually passing them and how long it's going to take. I'd also recommend buying accounts in intervals. I was with the help of my mentor, instructed to buy accounts every week, buy the same size prop accounts every week, and this way, my strategy is at the moment 30% win rate with 3-to-1 risk to reward, and that's without taking the A-class setups and risking more on them or extending take profit to higher amounts. But with that win rate, I know that each week as I'm buying an account, a batch of them, or one of them, or some of them will be passing, some of them will be going into a little bit of drawdown, others will be halfway there, and you've just got this constant stream of different timelines, but with the same probabilities playing out. So you might lose some of the accounts, but you're definitely going to gain some of them if you know your win rate and your risk to reward beforehand. It eliminates the emotional side of it, the nervous system side of it. That takes care of that, because if you've never passed a challenge before and you're close to passing your first ever phase 1 and you're like 1% away and you're in a trade and your rules tell you shouldn't exit a trade unless it hits stop loss or take profit, what would happen with amateurs is get close to that level and you just take the profit even if you're only 1 hour up or 2 hour up, because you're trying to cling on to how close you are, because you don't really embody the fact that you can pass them easily all the time. But that was a sidetrack. It does help to diversify. So I've got one account trading NQ and gold, one account trading USD JPY and Euro US dollar, one account trading USD CAD. And that way they've got their own separate timeline. The risk of ruin is smaller. And you just let the probabilities play out like that. So definitely worth splitting up the assets that you're trading into their own accounts. And in terms of the entry and what else I was going to talk about, the entry being mechanical all the time, you can reverse engineer your entire setup. So you have your entry rules, like for example, you sweep some highs, close below, enter at the 50% retracement, stop loss at the 70% retracement, and take profit at the 161 extension. And you look for that at maybe a certain time, so that you look for that to happen in the New York session after London is closed. That should always stay the same. But what you need to learn is what is going on around that setup at that time in the market, and what are the conditions of the market like. Because if you can figure out the bigger picture of the technical analysis involved with your setup is a small fish in a big pond. It is not to be amplified unless you can be made aware with your own knowledge what else is happening. So you could have your sweep of some highs, close below, enter at the 50% retracement, stop loss at the 70%, take profit at the 161 extension, right? That is going to stay the same. But if you use RSI, is the RSI oversold? Are you rejecting from a major resistance level as well? Is there a huge target at the lows? All these things you can think about, things like that. Create your own framework, understand the bigger picture, and those are the ones where you can risk more and really increase your probabilities and profitability.